Derby week, a little bit more, I guess, tension around the place. It means a little bit more than any other game.
Derby weeks are really special. The big games against Saints are always very, very tight. I think over the last few years the games have been one score generally in them. Been some big performances from both sides. Obviously Saints last year got a huge win at Welford Road, which we were particularly disappointed with. We didn't play at Franklin's Garden this year because we were down in Twickenham, but it's nice to have those guys back at our place on Friday night.
Speaking of people it's nice to have back, we also welcome back some England players. That must be a nice little boost for the group.
Yeah, it's great for the group. I think we were at sort of breaking point with injuries and concussions, and to get those six bodies back is gives a nice little bit of energy to the group. Obviously they're high quality players, high calibre. They've had a tough few weeks away on international duty, so whether or not we use them is the question now. But they've all come back, all itching to play, so it'll be interesting to see what we do.
Another boost for the group was the news last week that Manu's chosen to recommit to the club as a coach. It must have been a nice, I guess, vote of confidence in yourself and the club.
I don't know if it's a massive vote of confidence in me, but I knew that Manu wanted to stay at the club. It was massive because I think the figures being bandied around that were pretty big, and obviously it was a huge decision for him to make. We couldn't physically compete with the offers that were coming from France, but we appealed to Manu's loyalty of the club, and in fairness to him, he's taken a massive pay cut because he wants to be here. So it's a measure of the guy, and hopefully he can go on and have a very, very successful time here.
It's very modest of yourself not to say it. It's partly you, but obviously he does believe in the vision and where we're going. So you must feel that that's...
Yeah, I guess so. It's not something I overly worry about. Manu's Manu. He wants to be here. I knew that, but I suppose it helps that he's on board with where we want to go. We obviously need to develop quite a bit, and we need to grow, and that's something that we're all on board with doing, and certainly Manu's going to drive that for us now.
Speaking of players and new players and re-signings, obviously Manu was the 7th or 6th academy player to re-sign this year. Some new guys are joining the club. I have asked you before, but I'm going to pester you again. There are more new signings to come, aren't there?
Yeah, there are guys. We have already signed. We won't announce them just yet. Again, it's more so from the players' point of view. They want to remain loyal to the clubs that they're at now. But there are guys coming, some big names, some guys from across the world, and some guys from the UK as well. So, it's quite interesting to hear the speculation, and obviously the fans are all anxious. I do support their angst, but I suppose I'm privy to a little bit more information, and there are definitely guys en route about to be announced.
So you're happy with the makeup of the group next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think like anything, the jigsaw pieces are beginning to fall into place. Manu was a big one. Now that Manu's in place, we're on board, finishing off what we've got to do, but it does seem to be taking shape, and I'm pretty happy with where we're at.
Finally, we started on Saints, but we'll finish on it. In terms of this week, as you said, you've got more players to pick from, but now it starts to roll on towards the end of the season, which is just each week is as crucial as the next.
Oh, this is massive for us this week. Derby match, if to add a little bit more spice, I think the middle of the table is so tight, and obviously we're down the bottom end of it, so we have to change our fortunes. We have to start winning. It's a huge game for us. Saints will be coming here on a massive vein of confidence on the back of their cup win on the weekend, so it's going to be a massive game. They're a great side. They're playing very, very good football, and it's going to be a tough match, but I'm looking forward to it.
Need a big crowd there on Friday night.
Oh, massive. The crowd are great. The Derby matches are always entertaining, and I think our crowd will have a great time this weekend.